In this video, I'm going to be talking about how I made $3,141 trading Tesla calls over the period of 2 days. These days were January 25th and January 26th. But before I get into that, I just wanted to talk about one thing, which is GME. And right now I have a live chart going. GME has been absolutely insane. Pure insanity. This has gone from around $20 on the 13th to now hitting a high of $380. And to be honest, I haven't taken advantage of this at all. There is just levels of crazy that I don't like to be involved in, and this is definitely one of them. These are the type of stocks that they're just too nuts for me, and I don't want to create a habit trading stocks like this because I know it's only a matter of time before I get a little comfortable waiting for things like this to happen, overtrade them, overstay my welcome, and it only takes one trade to screw everything up, whether it be on the long side when I'm chasing when it's really expensive like this, or trying to short because it should come in and then all of a sudden this happens. I'm at a point in my trading career where I know that this is not going to allow me to stay around long term if this is how I'm trading. I really want to be in this game for a really long time, so avoiding this really doesn't bother me that much. Of course, there was unreal opportunity, and social media definitely makes the people who've made money from this seem very loud, but I can tell you, as many people are making money, there's definitely people on the other side who are losing a lot of money as well. But even just looking at this right now while I have this recording, that looks like a nice flag pattern. If this can get back to 380, which I was watching this before on the level 2, there was real big size there. If it can break that offer, also knowing that pre-market high is above at 385, I think there's a chance that this gets to 400 really fast. Got up to 380 and instantly rejected like 15 points. So that seller is still there. Wanted to see if it could break 380 and see if I can get it on video, but it had a pretty hard pullback since. But that is obviously a key technical level. That's the intraday high. And then also knowing that pre-market high is above. So if it can get back to that level and clear it, there's a chance that this could get even crazier. It's insane that there are groups of people now who are going after some of the most heavily shorted stocks in the market to try to create these short squeezes. I never thought that I would be in a market like that, but this just goes to show it's good to be around for a handful of years. The experience is important because you got to go through some crazy cycles to be able to understand what's going on and then how you can trade around it and what works best for you. Because if you're brand new to the market and you bought GME at 40 and you sold it at 300, you feel like you're a hero. And then when you try to go do the same thing, all that money you made, you usually end up giving back. You hear stories like it all the time of somebody making a small fortune and then pretty quickly after they end up losing it. So that's why it's so important to understand your process, the style that works best for you, so you don't get caught up in the shiny lights and end your career pretty quick. So with all that being said about the GME craziness, let's get into the Tesla trades. On the 25th, Tesla gapped up, and it gapped up right to this 860 area, which it's been having a serious issue getting through. Major area of resistance. And when they can break, especially on a very strong momentum name like Tesla, they can really get going. And even just looking at the daily chart, nice period of consolidation, looks like a tight wedge pattern. The thing that I even like about the daily chart is that some of these shakeout candles where it looks like it's going to roll over, looks like it's about to break down, I'm sure it probably trapped some shorts. So when it finally had the gap up to that area that it has been having trouble getting through, when it breaks, if there is anybody who is stuck short, they're going to want to get out the moment that that starts to pick up because they don't want to be involved in a short squeeze. And then that's when everybody else who's momentum traders like myself hops on board to the long side and tries to take advantage of those quick moves. So the daily chart looked really good and the 30 looked good as well. I always like to get a glance at the 30 just for more of a bigger picture idea, look at a couple different time frames, and the 30 looked great. Obviously hit its head on this 860 plenty of times, and I watch Tesla every single day. So just watching the level 2, every time it got there, I could see a big seller. So I knew in the back of my mind that if it can eventually break it, it has a chance. And when it gapped up again to that 860 area today, something in my gut told me that there was a high probability that it was going to break it. And just because I want it to break and I want to take advantage of that possible momentum, I don't go long just because. I still want to wait for some sort of technical pattern off the open. And if that offer is still there, if there's a big seller at 860 and I see it on the level 2, I want to see it get chewed through, and that's going to be the area where I want to go long. So putting it all together, having that major technical level I want to trade around, wait for that clean pattern, and then having that confirm on the level 2 and the time and sales by seeing those orders go crazy fast and know that buyers are clearly in control. I accidentally deleted the video from the 25th, but I did get a picture. So here's how much I made, $2,515, and here was the 2 trades that I took. So the first trade that I took was at 7:35. This is Mountain Time, so 9:35 Eastern Standard. I got long right before the 860 break. So the first move off the open was down, cleared the high of day, watched this go right up to 860. There was a big offer on the ask. There was still big size there. And the moment that it got up to it and it started to get chewed through, I ended up going long 5 contracts. And that next candle broke through it insanely fast, ended up taking 4 off on that one big move, got out pretty quick, tried to hold the last one for a bigger move, and then the moment that it pulled in, I ended up just getting out of it. And as you can see, that was a pretty good setup because there was the major technical level and also there was pre-market high above, so there was a technical level above 862, and when it got through all of them, put up a really crazy momentum candle. And that's what I like to capitalize on, so I was only in the trade for a couple minutes, but I ended up making $1,191 on that first trade. And then the second trade that I took was the new all-time high break. I had absolutely no idea that Tesla was going to be as strong as it was today and get to the all-time high. But when it makes a new all-time high, I want to be a part of that move. So even though it was a little extended, it got right to all-time high. And funny enough, I actually sized down. I only took 3 contracts, but I made more on this trade because I got a bigger move. Took it just before that break, 884.49. Instantly got a very crazy move, almost 10 points, took 2 contracts off, wanted to leave one just to see if I could get a little bit more, and then that next candle showed some weakness and I got out of the last one and ended up making $1,324 on that trade. And those were the only 2 trades that I took on the day, 2 very nice quick scalps, put up a very nice green day, and that's when I call it. Now let's get into my trade on Tesla from the 26th, and I have this one recorded. Quick technicals, the day before, Tesla put in a nice day 1 momentum move, so I was thinking this had a possible second day continuation. The levels I wanted to trade around was that prior day's high, also would have been a new all-time high, 940, and pre-market high, 894.90. So the first 1-minute candle of Tesla was down, which I like, so this is going to be an example of a 1-minute opening range break, and it's also going to show why I like to anticipate. I like to anticipate just a little bit so that way if I can get into the money quick and it doesn't go as fast as it should after the fact, I can still get out. So I managed to make money on this, even though this did not continue to go. So right now, the high of day is 892.87. If it breaks that, I want to be long. Also knowing that there is pre-market high above and just thinking that it has the possibility of breaking pre-market high and maybe breaking prior day's high and making a new all-time high. So the tape really started to speed up, gets the high of day. I get long 5 call contracts right there on the break. Want to see this get through 893, whole number above. Just want to see the tape start to speed up. And right there, broke right through high of day, skipped about a 1.5 points, and now just holding out for the pre-market high break and want to see if this can really get going. But I'm clearly in the money. I got filled on the contracts at 40.94, and that did not break pre-market high the way that I wanted to see it. So I end up just taking some off because why not? I like to pay myself along the way. So I took 3 contracts off, left 2 contracts on just to see if it can get one more push. If it gets back above that 895.90, maybe it gets to 900, makes a new all-time high. But showing some clear struggle right around that pre-market high. And I've seen Tesla before where it can reject those pre-market highs and pull back pretty hard. Starts to pull in, and I just cut the rest of the position right there. So it was pretty quick, but because I anticipated the break of the pre-market high, I was able to actually make money on this versus waiting for the break and then having to be in this pullback, which would have led to a big loss. So this is a good example of why I always try my best to get in just a little bit before that level instead of waiting for the confirmation and the break of it. And this ended up being the only trade of the day, so was in it pretty quick and made $626. So in those 2 days, I think I did a good job at taking advantage of it, and then the grand total of it all ended up being $3,141 trading call options. And that's it. Those are the trade recaps from January 25th and 26th. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.